Bang and the crew have asked me to be the poet laureate for this event. And so here's my poem. I think I'm going to call it Circling Literacy. We are welcome to Haida Gwaii with a paddle song. Ancient words sung to the beat of the drum. Reg and Robert Davidson share the song and give us a new memory. We are fed in so many ways by art and stories, by kids singing while they drive a two-dimensional car. We are fed by halibut, salmon, crab, and soap berries, by people who put love into their casseroles and cakes. Mike Stevens, the harmonica player, teacher, and great human, says one of the things he loves about Haida Gwaii is that no one goes hungry here. You feed each other. By his words and his music, again, we are fed. There is a dog at the doorway of the Port Clements Community Hall, watching it all. He is not fed, though it's tempting. What is it that is making me feel so full here? I think it is being a witness to generosity and hospitality that is centuries old. I love the root of the word witness. It comes from the Old English word inwit, which means to have a clean heart. Well, what does it mean to actually be a witness? Being so receptive to the truth that your thinking is altered and your heart is opened. Maybe this was the very first kind of open heart surgery. Being a witness to people like Gladys and Terry and James. Listening deeply to help carry their story, to be a keeper of their story, and to share it so widely, it will always stand up for the truth. Anyone who has heard a survivor speak about residential school becomes a witness. And at the PGI last year here, we heard Chief Ron Wilson, a survivor, say that education is everything. We witnessed that. And last night I learned that his sister Barb, also a survivor, is working on her master's degree. Education is everything. And hearing her story, I was fed and honored to carry her good news. Haida Gwaii is a place that feeds us. Even the name Haida Gwaii. Last year I met a proud Haida grandfather and businessman named Arnie Bayless. He spoke at an Aboriginal business gathering and said, "My grandchildren will grow up never having heard Queen Charlotte Islands. It will always be Haida Gwaii to them, islands of the people." Words are important. There's so much in a word. Language is the key to ideas in a culture, and there is magic in the original languages. I've experienced this even as a Saganashikwi, which is my Ojibwe name, and it translates as white woman. Here's a story about that magic. I'm at a conference on depression, something I'm very familiar with, and there's a Blackfoot healer named Leo Bastine. He says his language gives him access to healing that English does not. He asks us to close our eyes. He says some words in his language. I hear an eagle call. I see my father who had died 2 weeks before, and it bothered me so much that I didn't get to say goodbye. But in my closed eye vision, Dad said, not to worry about that, because I'll always be here, so why should you say goodbye? When I opened my eyes, Leo Bastine was gone. And later I asked other people what happened to them when they closed their eyes. Everyone I talked to, from neurosurgeons to researchers to lawyers to teachers, had seen someone they had lost. Powerful medicine right inside the language. The language builds the stories. Your stories told in song and dance, in art and carvings, totem poles, as Robert Davidson said, the totem was a way of transferring knowledge. And I will never forget the story and significance that we heard today about the massive totem and the year 1969. for telling stories, like in the Masset Totem, igniting memory of stories, songs, and dances to be told anew by people like Terry Lynn and Reg and Ben. Something beautiful is happening here. And you know, I see circles. There's a circle that's getting bigger and stronger. The circle of stories passed on from one generation to another and retold around a table or a campfire that's a circle, the circle of a plate with wonderful food from here, the circle of the drum that welcomed us last night, the circle of a fishing net, the circumference of a tree that will be a totem pole carved by Ben Davidson. A hug is a circle. Elder Dolores Davis told me, we are huggers here on Haida Gwaii, and hugging lowers your blood pressure. She's cut her medication in half. A golf ball is a sphere, so it's a 3D circle. And the PGI started with a golf ball, so it has brought us here together to complete the circle. You make the circle bigger and stronger, and we are fed. Hawa.